we are at the bottom of the world, but we are all travellers as well. So it's a civic car park under here.
The car park.
They put a crack in the roof.
Bob Dylan, I know him. So how do you know him? He said he applied for residency here.
Realising I was basically tripping balls, and at the Gluepot, everyone could go button, 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 but only we could go button, 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 button.
Welcome back to Lost Nightclubs, guys. Today we have very cool guests. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. We're in Auckland City. We are in Aotea Square. There's a guy dressed kind of like a rocker over here. Let's go have a look. Hey.
Hey, Jon. Okay, mate. Yeah, good? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, this is Jon Toogood from Shihad, and I've known the guy for a few years now. I've been looking forward to this because you've got you're like a rock legend.
You mean I'm a rock and roll guy that didn't die yet?
Yeah, still going. And why have we met in Aotea Square?
I think you wanted to talk about the classic Shihad Aotea Square show that we put on for New Zealand Music Month.
Yes.
A few years back now. I mean, this is big for us in a lot of ways, not just the back, but this was full of humans just bouncing up and down. And in fact, we heard upwards that because it's a civic car park under here,
the car park.
They put a crack in the roof because they were bouncing up and down so hard. So it was like, well, yeah, and sort of like, ooh.
What are we talking, 10,000?
There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was great. And it started raining as soon as we walked on stage. So all this heat from the crowd, it just turned into this big steam pit. And it was amazing. And it was also really personal for us as well because
You'd been to America, yeah.
well, and also Carl's dad had died out of the blue only a few weeks back, and it was just like, bro, we don't have to play this show. And he was like, Dad would have wanted me to play. You sure, bro? So it was a really, really personal gig for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a lot of crazy shit that went on before that gig, and then we came on stage and it was really cathartic because it was like, there's a lot of people, let's smash it. And we did. We smashed it. It was good. I mean, I remembered like also backstage because it was New Zealand Music Month, which was probably over here somewhere. I was talking to Helen Clark.
Wow.
The Prime Minister.
Yeah, they always show up at the big gigs.
Yeah.
It's good promotion.
It was so cool.
Actually, I like Helen.
I'm in the middle of, because I'm talking to Helen Clark, oh yeah, cool, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then someone said, you're on stage. It was like, okay, cool. Go,
Prime Minister?
Nice to meet you, Prime Minister. Run on stage, and the first song was like, My Mind's Today. I trust the police and the government.
What was the music scene like in Wellington when you grew up? Like,
It was pretty, I remember talking to Chris Knox once about the Wellington music scene. He used to go, we just call it the fucking kooky hat brigade, you know? Like,
what does that even mean?
Well, because it was things like Jackie Clark and you know, When the Cat's Away and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was sort of,
like
and the Holiday Makers. The Holiday Makers were the biggest band when we were at high school. Holiday Makers had that song, Sweet Lover, which is a massive hit in New Zealand.
Yes.
And in fact, the guitar player ended up doing a bit of band tutoring for us as well. He was a lovely guy. He hated our music. He just used to go, okay, yeah, keep going, and then go outside and smoke ciggies, but which is fine. But yeah, I think New Zealand was known for that sort of kooky, artsy thing, and then we weren't into that shit at all. We were like, fuck, Metallica's the shit, Slayer's the shit. We want to play that sort of music, and that wasn't really the thing in Wellington at the time. But there was a real punk scene. Yes. And that's how we first started playing, was like we'd support bands that were like hardcore, and we'd have skinheads at our gigs. It'd be intense because we were like little baby mummy's boys, sort of, you know. What was good about growing up in Wellington around that time is we'd see bands like Bow to Space and all of the heavier sort of flying nun bands, Wall of Sound. Fuck me, this is amazing. Headless Chickens, early Headless Chickens.
Great band.
Fuck, amazing. Like, so different.
Because they were experimenting stuff.
Man, totally, man. They were way ahead of the curve. And our manager at the time, Gerald Dwyer, he used to take us along to see the Skeptics and stuff. And it was like, whoa, as a little metalhead, it was like, this music's heavy but beautiful and amazing. It was just like mind-expanding shit.
Let's go check out a historic venue. Now, I don't know if you guys recognize this building. You probably won't. Used to be King's Arms, classic live venue in New Zealand. Okay, the actual original building was built in 1880. Can you believe it? and it was a little corner pub, and there wasn't a motorway over here. This was all just suburbia, and yeah, it was a pub. This was where the entrance was, and it was for the working class, you know, so all the men would come in here after their work. Through the years, the motorway came in, and the whole suburbia, well, this little place was hard to find now, so they had little maps of like, here's how to get to the King's Arms and stuff. It was always that name, and there was a lady called Maureen who basically ran the pub for a very long time, and she lived to the glorious age of 82, I think it was, and very well loved. But yeah, she knew how to run the pub, and there was a guy here who would just play in the corner with a cowboy hat, Ed, I think his name was, and he was just sort of background music, I guess. But it wasn't until Maureen's daughter decided, because she was in a little band, that she would play outside in the beer garden, and it went off.
Yeah, right.
So that just rolled on from there. They started bringing bands in, and yeah, it became the go-to live venue, especially after, well, this is after the Gluepot finished. You know, we needed a new venue, so people came to the King's Arms, and there's a big history of international bands and local acts playing here.
It was different from the Gluepot in the fact that it was a bit smaller, so you didn't have to, you know, because Gluepot, I think that it was about 800 people or something like that, you know?
600.
Oh, 600,
and
right.
one gig, we're all going to do this.
Yeah, but this was like more like you could have 150 people here.
And something. Good.
It'd be sweet, you know, like, so it meant that it was a great venue for up-and-coming bands to play, you know, like, but also big enough if it was banging, you know, like, so it was a good, good starter, you know, like, and also internationals could play it too. It had the thing is the staff were really cool. The staff were always clued up on music, so it had that vibe to it, you know. It was a rock and roll venue, you know, it wasn't it wasn't a she bar that begrudgingly put bands. It was all about the music. I mean, the posters, there was just band posters everywhere. You know, you knew you were somewhere that had that spirit of rock and roll, you know, like, which is great.
Let's go inside.
Yeah, cool.
So in 2016, the government, the council was like, you know, this is going to be more of a housing area, and it changed some of the rules where they were allowed to build 6 stories up. So big offers came in for this area, and with the changing music scene, they eventually sold it, but they built this, which is, this is the space though, where King's Arms was.
So we were the stage
Probably would have been over behind this wall, which we can go just have a little look around.
How you going? We're just doing a whole thing on the King's Arms.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. So yeah. But you know where the stage would have been?
That was the garden bar out there.
That was the garden bar.
The terrace. And the bar was over there, wasn't it? And so the stage was at this end.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, so
The stage would have been somewhere around.
so I would have been. I played one of them later gigs before they kind of sound, just sitting on a stool with two acoustic guitars, and it was packed, and it was like you'd look down there and like smiling faces and just drunk people and having a good old sing-along. But and it was grimy. Yeah, like the sort of place, you know, when you look, your feet stick to the floor, you know, like.
I mean, when the music's playing loud, you can't hear it, but you go in there in the daytime or the sound check, that's when you're like, okay.
Yeah, totally.
And there's flies hanging around and stuff.
That's so cool, man. Awesome. The first EP.
It is the first one. Nice to meet you, John. It's Kevin.
Oh, g'day, Kevin.
How's it going?
I'll sign that for you,
That'd
mate.
be fucking awesome.
That's so great. Now, these are really hard to
I know.
find,
I think there's only 1,000 of them pressed.
That's so cool, man. Because I got told if you like people on Discogs are like selling them for hundreds and hundreds.
I'm not going to get rid of it.
You don't. Yeah.
I've got a funny story though, because when I first played it, it's actually a 45, a full-size
It is,
45.
yeah, it is.
But I played it on the 33 speed,
Well,
so it was all down-tuned and chunky.
But I've been assured by the local sort of death crew that that's the preferable way to listen to that EP.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, some other acts had played here, and it was one great story about a New Zealand promoter that saw an international act that he really liked, and he brought them over to New Zealand for about 3 or 4 gigs. and that was actually White Stripes. Wow. And they played at the King's Arms. A year later, they played at the Big Day Out. Totally. And they'd blown up. Yeah, totally. So yeah, one of the early international gigs was right here. Would have been up on the stage right here.
We toured with them on that Big Day Out around Australia.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, Meg thought I was the guy to show her around. So we'd just go shopping in every Australian city and for hair products and food, and I don't know, we just got on really well. And but he didn't like it.
He didn't like it?
No, he didn't like it because I was like this heavy metal guy. I'm not indie at all. So, but me and Meg were like thick as thieves. It was great.
Was there anything you appreciate about him, like his playing style?
He's an amazing guitar player.
He's cool. But the way he was really, he wasn't into me at all, and he would bar me, and she was just totally chill. And so I always go, oh well, you don't even know me, dude. So I tend to list like, I can't listen to music after that,
Let's tiptoe around the edge here. So one night someone tried to jump the fence and they had barbed wire around here, and he got majorly cut up, and people used to fall asleep out here, wake up the next day in the garden bar, and then they were locked in here. They used to also have a TAB mixed in, because there was two parts of the bar. They had the old bar down over here, and that's where all the old fellas would, and then you come into this other bar and there's a big rock band playing, but somehow they made it work.
Oh, that's every venue in Australia sort of like that.
Yeah.
We play the RSL, have to make your way around the poking machines and then get to the bar. Whereas with rock and rolls, and I suppose it's sort of rock and roll in its own weird way.
Thanks to PB&A for letting us in, guys, and appreciating some of the history here. So the place did eventually get sold, and then, but they did have a big final night, and I think the guy who played it out was the original guy with the cowboy hat.
Oh, that's so cool.
He was the last person to play. You're going to get a photo. Important little message, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you aren't, but you're still watching. Also, you can grab a Lost Nightclubs t-shirt, as I'm wearing right here. Check the link in the description. Also, Jon Toogood's album is out. October 11th. Grab a copy, stream, whatever. Have a good time. Shihad was like, you're a topical band. Like, a lot of the songs are about topics, things that invoke feelings, things in society that have sort of invoked feelings with yourself, so you have to say something.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just singing about shit that I'm worried about,
Yeah.
That's all. I never try and think about what other people are worrying about.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the things that keep me up at night.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because that's what music can be, it can be a voice. What was a time when you feel like some of the messages you were saying in the songs were resonating at a peak? Like, just, it could be one song that brought out a lot of attention or something.
Well,
where it was really working for you.
Yeah, I don't know, it's interesting, some of the grand sort of scale things, that they work at the time that they're at, but the ones that last are usually the personal songs, like Home Again, man. That's literally about being away from your loved ones, and I think New Zealanders really resonate with that, because we are at the bottom of the world, but we are all travellers as well, so everyone can sort of relate to that vibe,
Yeah.
So we got that, but then other songs like Pass By, again, a personal story about a friend of mine, Aaron Tokona, who's unfortunately no longer with us. Best guitarist I ever played with. I used to play with him in adults and in an AC/DC covers band, because I walked into, that was the first time I'd ever played with this dude. This we used to call him the Steve Vai from Nine.
Wow.
Because he was the best guitar player in the whole of the Wellington region. He ends up playing in Cairo Knife Fight, Weta, Hori Buzz, all that sort of stuff. He's just like the best guitar player. Anyway,
he's actually done the best solo I've ever witnessed out of a New Zealand act live.
Yeah, he's literally that guy that he can play any style of music, but not like a session muso, like you're listening to that album. It's like he's just got the thing.
He was the Jimi Hendrix NZ, right?
Pretty much. And but he was also, like a lot of musicians and artists, he had suffered from mental illness, and his particular mental illness was bipolar disorder, and he would go off on these huge, just crazy manic tangents and do things that he would, not normally do, and endanger himself and basically, and I just remember writing that song Pacifier, just sort of like going, if you can get through this tunnel, everything will come right again. Like it's the personal songs that tend to be the songs that last for the long time. Like yeah. Here we are in Ponsonby.
Ponsonby. It has changed a lot over the years. I mean, actually, in the last 10, 20 years, it's kind of been the same.
Expensive.
Yeah. That's what happens with neighbourhoods. There's a cool neighbourhood where all the arty people go, and eventually all the rich people go, oh, well, we want to be in the cool neighbourhood, and they buy up all the property, and then it's not cool anymore.
And then at night they realise that there's a venue next door, and then they go, we're going to call the council. And it's like,
exactly.
But that was the reason you came here. But now you want to get it all shut down. It's like, well, I need to sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately, noise control is an issue in Auckland. Let us, if you guys own a bar or work in a bar, let us know your comments about any issues you have with noise control, and is there any solution here that we can still have live music venues? Maybe there's more soundproofing, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah,
I guess it's expensive, right?
absolutely.
Now where are we now? Recognize any of this?
Well, this is where the Gluepot used to be.
Gluepot.
Pretty much, as I understood, the place to be in the 70s, 80s.
Yes.
And even 90s, Shihad played here. We played in our other band SML here, and I saw the 3Ds here. Like, I mean, I remember seeing the 3Ds, and beforehand we were at a flat in Kingsland, and then we'd made some pot brownies, and we all fucking munched out, and we got up there, and I was when because 3Ds at their height, they were mean, their bands. Like they were. I thought they were going to be the big thing to come out of the Flying Nun thing, because they had the pop songs and they had that grunge, and I just remember watching them and then realising I was basically tripping balls and at the Gluepot, and then my feet were sticking to the floor, and I was like, everything, time started slowing down, and the music was awesome, and it was like, it was touch and go that I was going to make it for a while, but I made it, and it was like one of the best gigs I ever saw, and it was
right
Gluepot.
here. Yeah. The building's been here for many, many years. It's an old historic building. I think it dates back into the 1800s.
So cool.
Now, obviously, now it's changed into no walk-ins. It's changed. Yeah, let's walk in. It's changed into a dentist clinic.
How are you?
Hi, come on in.
Yeah, cool, man. I'm John. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Jake.
How are you, Shae?
Nice. You can sit. There's chairs around here.
Great. Now this is Jake's dental clinic. If you need any dentist work done, come here.
The been upstairs though?
It was everywhere.
Oh, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, there was a restaurant. I think the performances were upstairs.
Yeah, I remember playing.
Yeah. I think people walked in and had drinks down here.
Yeah, you were into the music scene in San Francisco. You come over to New Zealand, and
I retired.
You retired. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
After 35 years of
Yeah,
practice.
right.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I was I'm from Minnesota, and part of my family is from Duluth, where Bob Dylan's from.
Oh, wow.
So when you're
Big fan.
yeah, so
I am a big fan.
yeah, when you're a kid, like 12 to 14, Bob Dylan was like God.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota people, no one's a star.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And he was singing Delmo Twice, It's All Right.
Okay, so right now we're down on the basement, the ground level.
So the entrance, really.
Yeah, this is the entrance. But Gluepot had multiple rooms, you say?
Yeah.
And the stage was upstairs.
Yeah, but I think they played up here too.
Okay.
And it wasn't just, when they had concerts, they played.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had, guitarists and other people playing too.
Now, so I heard in the 60s and the 70s, we had more Māori and Pacific Islander bands, and they did really well. It was a really popular venue. And then we changed into more of a rock venue come sort of 1977. I think there was a band, you guys name in the comments, that played here, and no one believed it would really work. But they did, and they sold out, and then from then on, all the rock bands came in. And we had the likes of the Dude.
The Dudes, kind of
Yeah.
like Sailor. I would
Yeah.
imagine Dragon would have played here.
Yep. Ponsonby was a different place back then.
Yeah.
It was a cheap place to live.
Yeah.
This was the go-to venue. And you'd also get international acts like Midnight Oil even played it here. And apparently the guy put his foot through the
Garrett.
stage. We even had the Sons of Sodom. You guys heard of that?
Huh?
No, I've never heard of Sons of Solomon.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have because it's a code name for Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
But that's what they put the gig down as here at the Gluepot. Now, why were they here? Were they doing a concert or something? Or-
Yeah, well, see, Mick Jagger still comes here, and they go up to the Bay of Islands, and they stay at a resort, $10,000 a night.
Why did they come here? They obviously said, "Oh, let's go play a local venue."
DRUG.
Okay.
Yeah, they always had to have the best drugs.
Yeah, right.
So this is the place to get them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to travel around.
Yeah.
You know, when I got my citizenship here, the guy I got her from said, "Oh, you know, Bob Dylan, I know him." So how did I know him? He said, he applied for residency here. I said, "You're kidding." He said, "No." And the thing is, well, I'll tell you the truth. He had to go to Monaco to buy his drugs. So
Yeah, I mean, that was the era, though.
if you're away from drugs for 24 hours, it's like...
Yeah, if you're hooked. So do you ever get people coming into the venue asking about Gluepot?
All the time. Really? Sure.
Yeah.
They tell me that they were here. Yeah, they come in and say, "Be patient."
Yeah.
And they go, "You know, I came here when this was the Gluepot."
Yeah, the ability, you know, he performed all around Auckland, and that was his honing ground for all his skill, you know, and this was a huge place for him. Also, Prince Tuiteka.
Apparently that was the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is, and the Radars. This is way back in the 60s, 70s, guys. I think it all ended in about 1994. But John and you guys got to play here.
Yeah, we got to play here. Early on, Shihad played here, but also my other band, SML, played here, which is basically half of Shihad and half of another band from Wellington called Ol. And it was just one of those venues that was when it was packed. I saw Bowder Space play here. I saw lots of the sort of harder edge sort of flying nun bands like Skeptics and 3Ds. Classic gigs, man. It was a beautiful sized room up there. 500, 600 people.
Oh, wow.
Really nice feel.
Wow.
Just
that's a good
it's
size.
big enough to be grand again, but still intimate. And it had a great sound system, and it sounded good, man. It was just like one of those places you wanted to play, one of those places you wanted to see bands in because it sounded good. You could see from any angle. And it was, I was really bummed out when I heard that it was going under, because it was like there wasn't really any other place in Tamaki Makaurau that was like that,
Yeah. Oh, hats off to Gluepot.
Yeah.
If you did come here, mention in the comments, guys, some of your stories. We'd love to hear them.
How high did you get? Did you get as high as me in the 3D?
Yeah, and the kind of stories you get are amazing. Yeah. You have people come in and say, "I came here a lot because I wanted to get drunk and high."
But thanks for your time, Jacob. And if you guys need any dental work, I recommend coming here.
Yeah, man, check it out, man. It's got like, if you're sitting there waiting for a filling, you can read about John Lennon. There you go. This is letters, man. So it's a rock and roll dentist.
All right, we're now currently in Eden Terrace, which has been renamed to Uptown, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, well, I used to live here, and there was a census to, like, what are we going to call it? I thought City View would have been nice, because it's actually the highest point, because over there is a giant water tanker. Got one of the best pizza places here in Auckland, which is right here.
Oh, yeah.
El Vault.
I've had that plenty of times.
Yeah.
That's boys post Powerstation, but
Yeah. Now, you just mentioned a word there. What was that?
oh, the Powerstation. Like literally, this is my favorite, probably one of my favorite rock venues in the country.
Yes.
Even in the southern hemisphere, it's just the right size to be big and grand, but also small enough to be really personal. That is why I love the Powerstation. It's like, it was the first place Shihad ever played in Tamaki Makaurau.
Really?
Yep. First place we
So
came.
you guys had come up from Wellington and they did with...
We came up and we supported Enigma, who was the only other speed metal band in the country, and they were from Auckland, and they looked great. We looked terrible because we were total nerds, but we knew we had a secret weapon because they could only do the thrash beats on the on beat. We could do the thrash beats on the off beat. So everyone could go button, 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 but only we could go button. So even though they looked the part because they were from Auckland and they had all the tats and leather chains and we were just dweebs, we smoked them. It was good, yeah.
Is it quite competitive with little things like that, technical things in rock and metal stuff? Or?
Hey, it's all sport, man. It's all sport. But we worked out early on that usually the bands that taught themselves up didn't last. So we basically went head down, be humble, be cool, and always be courteous to everybody around you. And then when you go on stage, fucking smash it, right?
Yeah.
And then that's what you do, and you walk off, and you be humble again, you know. And that's the way to do it.
I think that etiquette got you guys through the years.
Pretty much.
You know, I think all the good bands have both.
All the good bands do it. When we supported AC/DC, and which was really early on for us, it was like that was at Athletic Park in Wellington. Their crew are totally chill, totally cool. You can use whatever you want, guys. You can even have their monitors, all good. Because they know that they're AC/DC, and when they come on, you're not going to be able to beat them anyway. but that makes them it's a work.
Yeah.
It's a work ethic. Black Sabbath was the same, and it's interesting to see the difference between, say, an up and coming band or a band coming down off the boil. They're all like really shouty and mouthy and like, you know, Pantera was
you
like
can only
that.
get away with that for a little while.
Well, you can. Pantera was like that. It was really uncomfortable. But the bands that, like Black Sabbath, like totally chill, like because they know they're Black Sabbath and they don't need to act like dickheads to prove the point.
Yeah.
When you're acting like, you know, like a rock star off the you know, court. Yeah. It means you're a little bit insecure about it. So you're basically, because the only thing you really got is that hour on stage. Yeah. That's where the truth is, you know, like, are you good or are you not, you know, like.
Okay, so you come up here, you played the first gig.
Yeah.
In Auckland up here.
Yes.
And then, how many times did you probably play here?
I reckon I've played here at least 20 times.
20, wow.
Yeah, man.
And what was probably the highlight gig for you here, you reckon?
Filming, eh?
He's a great keyboard player, actually, and an old friend. Yeah. So Beat was huge, right?
Yeah, 35,000 copies, and I put myself naked on the front cover when I left and did sayonara.
What better way to sell the album, you know?
And now I can't get a bloody job anyway.
Did the audience go like pretty hundy here? Like they go pretty crazy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've had sweaty nights in here, man. Like, you know, it's like, it's big enough so you get the crowd bounce, but then you've also got the balcony, man, and we'd always make, like, there's a great thing about the backstage is there's a way to get up to the balcony, so I'd always, like, halfway through a song, like, do a big run and then, like, you know, and then basically go above the lighting desk and look down at everybody and be teetering on the edge, and you can do all that stuff, you know, like, and it's like, so it's big enough to be spectacular, but still, like I say, it's like you can see every single place in the crowd, you know, like.
Where did you kind of learn about to rock a stage and move around and stuff? Was a lot of this, was this a proving ground here, or kind of?
This one place, but no, I actually think it was going to Europe with Head Like a Hole. And the thing was, Head Like a Hole's live shows was on fucking fire.
It was.
Yeah. So it was like, they'd play naked, they'd basically spend most of the time in the crowd rather than on the stage, and we were getting, for the first half of that time, we were truthfully getting our fucking ass kicked.
Right.
Because we were like concentrating on being tight, and after getting our asses kicked so long and for so long, it was just like, I went, fuck this. I know I can do that if I put my mind to it. Definitely giving up for that band.
Inspired by their energy.
Just to see, right, the stage doesn't have to end at the stage. The stage is the whole fucking venue, you know, like, if you want it to be. And there's a power to that, you know?
Yeah.
So this is a great place to do that in, because a lot of times no one's expecting that, because it's such a grand theatre that if you do break that audience band barrier, it's even more powerful, you know?
Yeah, so I saw Head Like a Hole at Sweetwaters.
Yeah.
which I actually played on. I was in the DJ tent. I had a little techno band.
Oh, wow,
And
awesome.
you guys played with the Finn brothers there.
That's right, we did.
We know we had all the dodgy promoter stuff.
We
going
know
on.
none of us got
No,
paid.
yeah, no one got paid. For
I
that
think
festival,
apart from wasn't it apart from UB40 who basically got the promoter in the room and said we're gonna fucking beat you up until you give our money, or maybe that was another one.
The guy actually went to prison or something, 18 months for fraud. But look, the festival was cool, at least for the patron. So that concludes our Lost Nightclubs tour with Jon Toogood. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, bro.
This has been an amazing experience.
It's awesome.
Such history here.
Yeah, a lot of history here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out and lending your knowledge, your experiences. Make sure to subscribe, guys. Grab a t-shirt, and we'll see you on the next one.